problem here is that a government came into office and its policies have been so chaotic that those people who have worked hard to attain that level of comfort have now seen it all almost wiped away. And so if a person who was that comfortable with Rolls Royce vehicles has now been cut down to managing his Honda Accord, imagine what has happened to a university lecturer. Imagine what that lecturer has had to do. This change in economic realities is, by the way, not as a result of Mr. Rolls Royce's bad business decisions. He didn't do anything wrong or anything like that. But because an administration came into office and completely changed the trajectory of businesses and the value of the currency across Nigeria. Again, this morning, as you think of Mr. Rolls Royce, think as well of the civil servant who's working in his very small state government office. Think of the Nigerian who was doing his best to feed his 5 children and put them through school, managing his own small Toyota. What do you think has happened to him? If Mr. Rolls Royce has dropped from, using those exotic cars to using a Honda Accord, what do you think has happened to those who had a Honda Accord? What do you think has happened to those who had small Toyota Corollas? What do you think is their fate? Ladies and gentlemen, leaders come into office and it is expected that their leadership should bring about prosperity and growth for a nation and its citizens. That is the expectation. And if for any reason there has to be austerity measures, it must be seen from the top. That leader must show and lead by example. But in our case, the Nigerian government seems to be doing, completely the opposite. Billions are being budgeted and spent on houses and cars for the executive, while our dear friend dropped his Rolls Royce for a Honda. And if the government expects citizens to make sacrifices, then there must be visible signs that government is leading by example. Government must also drop its own Rolls Royce and use a Honda. Mr. President and the executive, the National Assembly members, must also drop their own Rolls Royce. It must be seen that they have also decided to leave their Rolls Royce and move to a Honda. Also, Mr. President failed to actually even inspire hope that someday this friend will be prosperous again, enough to go back to using one of his Rolls Royce. Because from what it seems, this Honda status might just be permanent or even get worse. He may start, to leave his Honda now and start entering downfall. And so to Mr. President, is the Honda adjustment permanent? And how can you convince Nigerians that this Honda, situation is not going to be the norm? Again, as you think about Mr. Rolls Royce, think about the retiree who has seen the cost of his medication go from 3,000 naira a month to about 25,000 naira a month. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, my brother. I've been a good evening anytime with you. Thank you so much for these wonderful questions. In case you don't understand what he's talking about, that interview when the Ruben Abati go interview Tinubu, when they come out, they talk, say, where Ruben Abati? They come out, they say he likes what Tinubu said, the man knows what he's doing. Tinubu open his mouth for that interview, tell us. Say again, one of your friends where they drive 3 Rolls Royce before. Say as we they talk now, the man not drive the Rolls Royce again. Say the man don't cut his coat, he don't drive Honda Accord. For President Tinubu head, now achievements with that. Yeah, it depends on where you look am from. In Nigeria, there's money. Hope we know. There's money. It's just that the money where 10,000 people suppose get, only 5 people get them. So those 5 people, they drive Rolls Royce and G-Wagon, while the other 9,995 they enter downfall. So as a president, when you came in, if your ambition is to balance it, so that instead of 5 to they drive Rolls Royce, make the rest enter downfall, make everybody they drive Honda. If that is your ambition, we will understand. But that's not what is happening now. What is happening now is that the man where they drive Rolls Royce before, don't they drive Honda. The one where they drive Honda before, don't they enter Keke. The one where they enter Keke before, don't go the queue for free food. Stampede, don't they buy them. That is what we are going through now. Meanwhile, politicians, House of Rep members and senators, The ones where they drive Prado before, say Prado too small for them to drive now. Say now Land Cruiser they won't drive. The plane where presidency take they fly before, Tinubu say not work again. He can't buy bigger one. So why the politicians are increasing their means and ways of life, the Nigerian is reducing his own. That is why you see this stampede happening for places where they share free food. Because the people where if you buy fowl before, not if you buy fowl again. So they are now joining those begging for free food. President Tinubu should be ashamed of what he said that day. He said it with full confidence, pride, like he's doing the right thing. We don't know what they are telling him in Aso Rock. But where you are pushing Nigerians to, where you are pushing, some of us are just lucky. Yeah, today we're buying new cars or living in good houses. We are lucky. I am the 0.001% of the population. So trust me, yeah, the more Nigeria had, the better for me. Because if I complain, I will make money. But if I complain and make money, what about other people that the team is hooking? Do you know how many account numbers are in my phone now? Asking for help? God help us.